Good evening and welcome to Sunday Night Live. I'm Kevin and this is Kelsey.
I'm Kelsey.
And we've got an exciting show lined up for you this evening. And if you haven't invited anybody,
do it now.
Do it now.
Pretty
Send
much.
them the link. You've still got time. You don't want to miss out on the conversation that we're going to have tonight.
We have such an incredible show lined up for you this evening. We are having a really important conversation with three incredible guests and experts in their field. And we're going to start a conversation around mental health. So you still have time.
You still got time.
Invite someone.
Get that
Send them
link
the
out.
link. YouTube, Church Online. And won't you join us here this evening? Because it's going to be really, really good.
It's going to be really good. And if you don't want to send out the link now, wait till we're done and then send it out to the people who need to be part of the conversation on mental health. It was really important before lockdown and coronavirus, and I think it's even more so now.
Also, you'll have an opportunity to send your questions and join the conversation with us. So why don't you comment even now? Tell us where you're watching from. We want to have this conversation with you together.
Because this is ultimately about you, and we want to know your fears, your anxieties, your thoughts on mental health. So do put it into the comments section on YouTube or Church Online. If you don't know where to find the links, go to urbanlife.org.za. Kels, this past week, Wednesday,
incredible.
It was a great time. We had coffee, community, and communion. And it was really cool.
It was so cool.
So what people did was they came to the Midrand campus, Urban Life campus. They drove in, and everybody was masked. There was like a haze of sanitizer.
Necessary precautions were taken, yes.
And they got coffee at the Vintage drive-thru. Shameless plug. And then they drove on up. They got communion. And then they had the opportunity to get some community in the form of prayer, which was so amazing. We're going to do it again.
Yes.
I saw you were there. I saw you,
I was there. I mean, my eyes, you could see. I almost feel like a ninja with a mask on, you know. You never quite know what's going to happen.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, and it was really phenomenal. So if you missed out on that, then I would suggest that you keep your ear peeled for it happening again. And we had a video for you, but then we lost it in cyberspace. So I don't know what that means.
How did that happen?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not really sure.
I'm not really sure, but I think what we need to do right now is the more important thing is cut across to our three gurus and let's get this conversation started about mental health.
So we're going to see you in the live lounge.
Yep. We're still here.
How are you doing?
We got some other stuff coming up for you later after the show. And, well, not after the show, during the show, obviously.
After the conversation.
After the show, you can watch Carte Blanche and, I don't know, cook dinner or something else. But, yeah, we've got a game of charades coming up with our panel. We're back.
It's amazing.
Look at
this is SNL like you've never seen it before. But you know what? We have an incredible team of volunteers that are actually here. And you know what? They are new. They've never done this before. So I actually want to give them a shout out this evening. They are doing an amazing job. So I know it is strange being on the other side, but you know what? We've seen new faces today and we want to celebrate that. So even if there's a bump, we're going to make our way over to this conversation shortly.
So just one of the things is they have given up their Sunday evenings to be here.
And mornings, some of them.
And some of them mornings. But what they've done is they've taken up the incredible opportunity that they have to serve the church. And it's not just one church, it's the family of churches, and it's the church across the world. And guys, to you behind the camera, I'm so proud of you. And the legacy is yours, and the show is yours too, so we can't wait. But right now, let's cut across to our panel. Here we are in our live lounge. We made it. We traveled across time and space to get here.
Just to be
Welcome,
here.
Kim.
Thank you, Donnie. Thank you, Donnie. And we have an incredible wealth of knowledge sitting here.
Experts.
So get out your notepads. I've got mine. I'm ready to learn and have a conversation that starts. Don't mind the earthquakes if your screen is shaking. It's not the incredible knowledge that's sitting here. It's just some people kicking cameras. But over to you, Kels.
Amazing. So this evening, I just want to welcome our guests. I want to say, guys, thanks so much for joining us. You all have different fields. You work in different spaces. But I think what you have to add to this conversation is incredible. So thank you. It's a privilege. For you watching at home, we have Stephen Smith from Urban Recovery. Steve, what do you do in a nutshell?
Addiction recovery services.
In a nutshell. Amazing.
Yeah.
That's a great nutshell. Recovery services.
Then we have Alicia Rawlings, who is a psychiatrist. Alicia, welcome. It's so good to have you.
It's awesome to be here.
What do you do in a nutshell?
In a nutshell,
Yeah.
I would sum it up and say there's no health without mental health.
Yo.
So I think we can just cut it right there.
I'm done.
I mean, drop the mic. You don't have a mic, but you can drop it. Just, I don't know. Man,
I don't know what
there
I'm
is
doing
no
yet.
health unless you've got mental health.
Yeah.
Write that down,
Good.
tweet it.
Yeah.
Her name. And then Donnie, you are a pastor at Urban Life Church.
Yeah.
And an Enneagram enthusiast. What is that?
I love using the Enneagram
Okay.
to help people find out what motivates them. And
Just off that, if somebody's watching, they might not know what the Enneagram is. So
Yes.
maybe we could just give them a
Some
little
background,
bit of context as to
so
when
maybe
you say Enneagram.
if you take the word Enneagram, means 9-pointed diagram. And so what that means is there's 9 kind of styles or types, and people fall in there somewhere. And
Does it have to do with my personality, or
a
is
little
it
bit of personality,
different?
but a lot about what motivates you.
Okay.
And then
What motivates?
we help you on the journey of just discovering yourself and understanding yourself better.
Amazing. All right, so we have some questions lined up for you guys. We'll give you guys an easy start to the evening.
Yeah.
And I mean that. I didn't want to line you up for say, hey, we've got an easy question, and then just go deep. But what is your karaoke song?
Okay, I'm going to go first.
Let's do it.
All right.
She's enthusiastic.
No, because I don't want you guys to steal my song.
We wouldn't.
You wouldn't.
Are you sure? I mean,
Yeah. So my karaoke song is Raw by Katy Perry, but I shan't give a demonstration tonight. Yeah, anyway.
Okay,
If
cool.
I had to karaoke,
Karaoke, yeah, party.
tequila.
Tequila.
Oh, how does
One
that
word.
go?
Tequila.
Oh, tequila.
Okay. Jess,
One
if
word.
you're watching. Yeah,
She
anyway.
knows the song.
Okay, she knows the song, all right. Donnie?
I gave my song this morning and I can't move on from it.
That's okay.
It's I'm too sexy for my mask, too sexy for my mask.
So sexy.
That's my song.
And then the other words?
No, shh.
Oh, are we done now?
No.
Okay.
We're stopping there.
Oh, we're stopping there.
Yeah.
And then, quick fire, what is your top recommended books? What books would you recommend that we read? Read immediately. Of your
Switch
own.
on Your Brain. by
Switch on Your
Caroline
Brain,
Leaf.
okay, cool.
It's very good.
All
That
right.
is a good book,
The
yeah.
Alchemist.
The Alchemist, I've actually seen that one.
Soul Keeper,
Soul Keeper,
John Ortberg.
yeah, I avoided that one. But I'll read it.
Read it.
I'll read it. But
If you
we've
don't want
got
to read that one, you can read Boys in a Boat,
Boys in a Boat. Okay.
about the Berlin Olympics.
Oh,
Brilliant.
Very cool. All right. Kels, I
Amazing.
think we have some other questions.
Yes, are you guys ready? Are you
We're gonna
guys
find
ready?
out.
So
We're gonna
remember,
find
just
out.
send through any questions you might have as we get going this evening. You are so welcome to get involved in the conversation with us. So please send through your questions as we go. And I think just to start off, we asked you beforehand for some questions. And the biggest question that came through, and I'm just going to get straight into it, was kind of this thing as well, what does the Bible have to say about mental health? Like, where is it in the scriptures? So, Donnie, maybe you can kick us off here. I know she's probably going to add something.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
But what does the Bible actually say about mental health?
I think for me, when I look at the Psalms, I think there's a lot of mental, emotional, and spiritual struggles all going on with David and everything that he writes. And I find a lot of help when it comes to my own mental health in situations and circumstances to go and read the Psalms and see what happens to David, who was a man after God's own heart.
Yeah, that's good.
And when I see that, and I see that comment on David's life, actually in my mind, in my life, I feel a lot better about my struggles. I don't get so down about the things that I do feel struggle with.
Yeah.
And I think that helps.
It's like, oh.
That helps. Because I think you feel like it's only me and whatever, and actually here's somebody whose life has been documented for us forever after.
And who's really gone through it. And
So and it feels real to me. Like when I read the Psalms, I'm often like, okay, I know. And when you read it, sometimes you're like, wow, David's just going up and down. But actually, like, it does bring a sense of comfort, and it's almost like uplifting and encouraging to go, actually, you can see it in the scriptures, and I can find myself there.
Yeah.
But then you can also see the hope that is within. Alicia, maybe to add to that?
So for me, or the way I look at it, so the Bible does not specifically mention mental health, but we are body, we are spirit, and we are soul.
Yes.
Okay? And so we are not just one, we are all three. And in order for us to then look at everything, because your soul, remember, is your mind, your will, and your emotions. And that's the field of mental health. And actually, for me, the Bible is that it's a reference. It's like where I'll find answers. And actually, if something was not a problem, we wouldn't really talk about it in the Bible. For example, anxiety. There are 53 Bible verses about anxiety.
Wow.
And fear, or fear not fear, in the Bible is used more than 500 times. So if Jesus was not serious about mental health, I don't think he would have mentioned any of those things.
Wow.
And so we should. I mean, I think we read our Bibles, we pray, we read our Bibles, we pray,
And then we read our
that's
Bibles
what we should be doing, hey, reading our Bibles
so
and
we're
praying.
building
There's
them
a song,
up.
there's a song in there.
Yes, read your Bible, pray every
Pray every
day.
day.
So we're building up the spirit. Our bodies, we feed, we look after. But our souls are, I think, the most neglected part of us.
Sure.
But in Psalm 23, it says he restores our souls. So he's not saying mental health, but he's
Talks about
definitely
the areas.
talking about that area.
So then a follow-up question to you would be, how would we feed our souls? Because we feed our bodies, we exercise our bodies, we train our brains, we feed our brains with information and knowledge, but our soul, how would you, from a mental health aspect, feed your soul?
So I think, again, because it's your mind, it's your will, it's your emotions, and so it's so important then to be aware of these. And oftentimes, you know, we come into church and we kind of forget that we are allowed to have emotions because, you know, we're doing all of the other things, and those are absolutely great. And I think as Christians we have that added benefit, because I think a lot of the psychological principles, like the worldly principles, are Bible-based. Obviously the world doesn't know that, but we have this added benefit that we will face troubles, we will face challenges, but we then have more than like you say, you look at the Psalms for inspiration, you look at the Psalms when you're looking for help, and it definitely does. It speaks to something, you know.
I think the wonderful thing, sorry to interrupt, is the way that it's the reason with it being mentioned so much, fear, peace, all these kinds of things. And the Bible tells us Jesus knows what we're going through. And I think that's a real comforting thing in our struggles with mental health, is Jesus knows what we're going through, and we're not condemned because of it.
That is
we're
important.
not condemned. He still accepts us. Our identity and our position still stays the same, but we're on a journey, whichever shape that journey takes.
Yeah, because I think like when, with mental health, you know, like I love that we're having this conversation, but one of the things is like for a while it did feel like there could be like a level of shame, or like, oh, I don't know how to talk about this. Is it okay to talk about it? Also depending like how you were brought up, if you spoke about like feelings, emotions, that sort of thing or not. So it is this thing of actually like Jesus knows where we are and where we're at, and there's no shame in it. And I think that's something that there's no shame in it. It is healthy to talk about it and to address it if you are in that space.
Isn't it amazing how the gospel shines through even brighter in case at that point? I mean, we might take ourselves as, I think too much of that, or I'm not enough of this, and that's kind of just our emotions and in that state. And Jesus accepts us in that, and already, you know, and He died for us in that place, in that thinking, to rescue us from it. It's quite amazing.
So I think just to kind of, you know, we've got a few comments and things coming through, and people obviously saying that they're loving the Psalms and that sort of thing. But one question would just say, do you think people will always be warriors, as in they'll always worry, and there's always worry in our life? I don't know, like Steve, maybe you can kind of weigh in there.
I think it all comes from core belief. And then you were speaking about emotions earlier. If we did not have emotions, how would we know if something is good or bad, right or wrong?
Yeah.
Emotions are an indicator of whether we should, if I'm feeling angry, it means someone did something wrong towards me. If I'm feeling happy, it means something is good, something is right.
It's indicating something,
And, but again, core beliefs, if our core beliefs are wrong, then that will affect our minds, our thinking, and eventually our emotions into our actions.
How do we know our core beliefs are wrong or right? There we go.
Well,
here we go.
That's why we got the scriptures.
Yeah, it goes back to the Bible.
Scriptures give me helps me with my a worldview that gives me right or wrong. I listened to a guy this week who said that we live in a time where we want to know the truth, and then in trying to discover the truth, we choose which truth we want. And so Google all these things. You know, what is the answer to this? Oh, there's 10. I like that one.
Yeah.
And I think we've got to get to absolute truth. We've got to get to the Bible, who sets the standard for us. And that's where we start.
Amazing.
But I think that our core beliefs, they definitely come from where we come from. So it comes from our environment, our upbringing. And I love the book that Steve mentioned
Recommended.
earlier.
It's an amazing book.
It really is. It's a game changer.
Yeah.
Because she basically talks about how different tracks are laid. And we were created to be... to live in the Garden of Eden. Our default should have been that we are beautiful and we are, but because of, you know, with the fall of man, of course, that changed. And so as a result of where you're coming from, so, you know, we've got to be mindful of where it is we come from. And all of the collective experiences that we have shape our core beliefs, and they become like our default setting. So that when something happens, say for example, I'm walking in the mall and somebody walks past me, depending on my core belief, it could be, they don't like me, that's why they didn't pay attention to me. When actually it could be that they just didn't see you.
Yeah.
But because of that core belief, that's what you then begin to think.
Yeah. Okay.
And we were chatting before the show, and Steve's the course that he's currently doing is basically geared to identify what are my core beliefs and where is it that they are coming from.
Okay.
And when you know those, you can do something about it. That's the thing of, you got to discover what those are, and then you can start a journey of rectifying where your core beliefs are not helpful.
Yeah. Do you think that in generations past, or maybe we won't put it to generational, but in recent history, do you think we've neglected mental health?
Yes.
The simple answer is yes. So you just don't ignore mental health.
It was taboo.
Yes.
I mean,
yes, for a long time it was really
the stigma.
taboo.
There's
a stigma.
Stigma, we cut it off. We use straitjackets. It was
even the perception of it,
It was needed.
But also mental health or mental struggles is often in our society attributed to witchcraft or all kinds of things like that. And so there's another whole dimension to this that we need to learn and discover and grow in to see where the problem lies, where the difficulty is, and that people who can help rather than you know, just putting it out there.
But also for the longest time within the church, the belief was that if you have mental health concerns, then there must be some sin in your life. You're not praying hard enough, or so
there's misconceptions
and many myths as to why, or it was just get over it. Like I've mentioned before, if someone has a broken leg, you're not going to say walk it off. So
walk it off.
Which has been the stigma around mental health. So we have a question actually that's kind of toward that. Is someone is asking, when do we see a pastor for help? When do we see a psychologist? And when do we see a psychiatrist? And then I would just add one in there is when would we send someone, or when would we ourselves come and see you as an addiction specialist? So I know it's a broad question, but we've got a pastor, a psychiatrist, and an addiction.
I think part of the thing is to understand, and one of the difficulties we have is that people expect the pastor to have all the answers.
Yeah.
So the pastor has to just do all these things and figure them out. But actually, I think for me, my role is to find where you're at, what will help you. And actually, I can send you, and that's one of the things that where church and the people in the mental health field should work together much more.
Yeah.
Is actually you need to see somebody who can prescribe medication,
good.
or need to check whether you need medication or whatever the situation is. And so from my side, that's what I look at. Okay, sometimes you need prayer and the word. But sometimes you need a bit of understanding yourself, a little bit of Enneagram.
Okay.
What are your core fears, core desires, core weaknesses? Or then, no. There's something else at play here.
Okay.
Sometimes there's a sorry, going on a bit, but sometimes it's a spiritual thing, and actually there's demonic things at work, and we've got to deal with that.
Yeah.
And so the wonderful thing we have is, as Christians, is we have the Holy Spirit and the gift of discernment.
There you go.
And so to use those to help people get on the right journey.
Yeah.
And the one journey is not better than the other journey. All those journeys take you forward.
Yeah.
And I definitely think that it should be a working together.
Yes.
Because, like I mentioned earlier, the soul is mentioned also many times in the Bible.
Yeah.
And statistics tell us that 60% of people will come to the church first.
Wow.
With their mental health problems before going to a psychologist, a psychiatrist, a counselor. They will come to the church first.
Oh, wow.
So it's very important how we as the church respond.
Yeah.
But also a very good friend of mine said this to me. She said, within the church, we are actually soul practitioners.
Wow.
And to ignore mental health is actually clergy malpractice.
Sure.
Jeepers.
Yeah.
And so there should be there should be this working together.
Working together, yeah.
Like, for example, my father-in-law is the pastor, and it's been a journey. Whereas before it was, we're going to pray until our hands fall off, for this.
Just keep,
But as we began to work together, he'll say, Alicia, I think this is yours.
Wow.
And there are times where I've called him up and said, Dad, this is yours.
This is yours. Wow, okay, that's good.
Because of this working rather than either or.
Yeah.
We should be working.
And I think what Stephen is doing is so crucial, because there are sometimes things you need to have an understanding of the things that are going on in the whole addiction scene and scenario and what people are struggling with. And I've often just said,
you referred to Stephen.
Off you go. So maybe you can just give us
some context,
what you do, not in a nutshell.
Yeah.
And then when would people come and see you?
Okay, so if you feel like you need to go to rehab, it's too late. Then, you should have done something beforehand. And there's such a massive stigma around addiction and wrong behaviors and all of that. The thing is, it is very prevalent in the church.
Wow.
About 60% of the church battles with some sort of addiction, or their families are affected by it. So if you're worried that your substance of choice, which is alcohol, drugs, whatever, is a problem and it's starting to cause damage, pick up the phone, send an email, do something.
Is there a definition of damage?
Yeah.
Because,
yes. If it's not good.
If it's not good, yeah.
If it's not good.
I understand. Like you're starting
like
to drink a lot and you don't notice things and you're bumping your car.
If someone mentions, listen, should you be drinking something else? Should you have another drink?
Oh wow, okay.
Then have a conversation. Start talking to to someone.
Okay.
If you start hiding your behavior, that's a very big thing.
Telltale sign.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but what I would say is, before anything, start talking to someone. It's an easy conversation. Just open it up, have a chat. We've got many groups running.
Yeah.
We've got many individual courses running. I do one-on-one coaching,
Wow.
and that makes it easy. So you literally come in, have a chat. I don't want to hear about your past and why your father didn't hug you and all of those things. That's Alicia's job.
Okay. Doesn't look like it.
Yeah, Alicia's like,
She's thinking
what?
that's Donnie's job.
Yeah. You come in and you tell me where you want to go.
Okay.
And I help you get there.
Oh, wow. Okay,
So
cool.
we put you forward, we educate you, we give you skills in emotional intelligence, how the brain works, how addiction works. And we upskill you, teach you how to do your life properly.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So, Donnie, with the Enneagram, can we do it by ourselves? And when would we come and sit with you and say, help me?
So the traditional way that we do anything today is we Google it.
Yeah,
Okay.
Google.
It's the worst thing you can do.
Okay.
The Enneagram opens itself up to a number of things, and people get astrology and all kinds of things involved in it. But my approach is that the Enneagram is a tool that we use to discover some things about ourselves, and then we go, okay, there's a journey that I need to walk on to change in this area. When I'm under pressure, I react like this.
Okay.
What is going to solve my problem? We go to the gospel.
Yeah.
And we bring you onto a journey of sanctification, the gospel. For me, the Enneagram points out some things, but the gospel is that brings the healing. So for me, that's where I want to go back and put people on a gospel journey. So
Amazing.
over 5 weeks, we look at the Enneagram, help you to understand the Enneagram, then we look at the gospel and how it affects our lives, and then we go step by step.
Amazing.
Just with some questions where we say your type or whatever they call it, different words by different people, and then we say, okay, how's this affecting your relationships? How's this affecting you in your workspace? How's it affecting your family? And we try and just help people. And in that, we might find, whoa, you got to go see someone else. There's an actual problem here. This is not just a discovery, because healing is not in self-discovery. Healing's in the gospel.
Come on, that's so
Healing's
good.
in the gospel. But self-discovery is part of what takes us to the place of, hey, I need the gospel.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and I love, like, even on some of our sessions, like when you say, okay, these are the things not to be used as a sword. So it's like, or a shield, but it's actually these little like warning signals where it's okay, I know I'm going there, but I'm not going to use this as my defense, but I'm going to learn and grow so that I can recognize things in my life. And I think that is super helpful to be able to actually recognize certain things and go, actually, okay, something is not right, or I'm leaning there, or I'm doing this.
One of my favorite pictures is the rumble strip on the road. You know, when you fall asleep on the road, and you veer off the road. And actually, we try and find the things in your life that are the rumble strips. That, okay, this is not helpful. This is going to cause destruction. I need to learn how to get it. So often we find what needs to change, but we don't know how.
Yeah,
And
that's always
in between
the
the
question,
two
how?
and the gospel, we can find that. I believe we can find that journey, and where others need to get involved in helping, we can.
So, the final question, and this is a quick one. A lot of advice is handed out to people about mental health, not from mental health professionals. What is some of the advice that we can just ignore, that you hear that is given out often? What is some of the things from your fields that you can saying, guys, hey, just ignore that sort of advice. It hasn't panned out well, if any.
I mean, it was quite interesting because we had a little bit of a discussion beforehand, and so I thought about that. And it's this idea that we have time. Like, I'm going to sort out my mental health when I'm older or later. But it's actually, it's accumulative. And during different phases, it looks different. So, for example, like in your 20s, it might not scream a depressed mood. You might be able to continue going on, but you've got multiple stomach aches, can't get up and go to work because you've got ulcers, or these headaches that just won't go, but you don't have time to go and get it sorted out and attend to it. But that's your body sending you signals like you need to stop and you actually need to be aware of what might be happening. You know, recently a company called us in and said, you know what, we've noticed in our we have a graduate program, and we've noticed that they're not saying, the graduates, that they have mental health issues, but all the scripts or all the medical certificates coming is either stomach or headache or high absenteeism.
Wow.
And we actually think that maybe we have mental health concerns here that are not being addressed, because you don't see it as that. Because of course the 20s are that invincible period where nothing really
where you just are superhuman.
Superhuman.
Where you can't admit that you're not.
You can't admit that you're not,
right,
and it's so much harder. But you can maintain a level of, hi guys, I'm okay, when internally you're dying, you know, but you have that ability. So it doesn't look like that. So when I have sorry, I'm going on.
No, it's good. Keep going. This is great.
You know, if they're all manicured and pedicured and together, that tells me nothing about the internal state. I've got to, you know, go beyond that, because there is that ability to kind of keep it together while sort of dying.
And I think in a way, like you do, I think it could be a thing of like, you feel like you need to keep it together. So you kind of live under that false pretense of like, well, I need to keep it together. I can't actually show signs of weakness or, you know, but actually it's just, it's that false kind of like, well, no, I'm fine. I've got it all together.
But the thing that sort of hits me hard is that in the last 10 years, the suicide rate in the 15 to 24-year-old age group has increased 10 times.
Wow,
it is now the second leading cause of death after car accidents.
What?
And that's enough to stop me in my tracks. That it might not look a certain way, but we got to find it.
Yeah, that's wow. That's
we can't afford to.
No,
miss
wow.
Sure.
That's when you realize like this conversation is bigger than 20 minutes on a Sunday evening. And so thank you guys for coming in tonight. This is not the last that we'll see of you tonight, and we will come back. And so if you want to reach out, if you need help or anything like that, on our Church Online platform on Brushfire, there are rooms that you can go into where it's one-on-one, so it's not in the whole comment section. You just got to click talk to us, and we can then get you help and the help that you need. If not, we'll put the addresses on. No, I'm kidding. We won't.
Find them here.
We wouldn't do that to you, but or you, if at the bare minimum, you just type in "help me." We'll get help to you, and we'll get help for you. Guys, thank you so much for coming in, for giving up your Sunday evening and your wisdom. It was really helpful, and judging by the comments, people loved it. But we do have something lined up for you three, and we've got Reiki back on the show, and they're all going to be playing charades.
But Jesus help me.
Yep, I hope he does. But let's cross over to our two favorite human beings on the planet, and that's RJ and Jan Ben. Let's see what they've got for us.
I think our new nickname is RJB.
Yeah, I think
like
that sounds
John Bon Jovi
right.
kind of thing, hey?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Tell us what you guys think about that. We think it's a great nickname.
Yeah, tell us in the comments. I think it's I'd go with that.
Yeah,
I just
100%.
can't sing as well, so that might be a problem.
I mean, judging by last week, I would argue you would sing just as well as he does. But
maybe lyrics, but that's where it ends, eh?
Oh, but your creativity in that short period of time is just brilliant.
Yeah, man, that chat was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, sure.
I took so much value from that. I think one of the biggest things for me is how I never realized how often the Bible deals with mental health.
Yeah.
You know, I think sometimes we want to just separate the two.
Yeah.
And say like, depression or whatever, or anxieties on here. It's not spiritual. It's got nothing to do with the Bible. But in actual fact, I think they mentioned over 500 times that it covers in the Bible. So
that's crazy. Yeah. Like you've mentioned, there's so many like pieces of nuggets of wisdom in this short chat that I think, like, the one thing that stood out to me was just like how crucial your core beliefs are, and like what you believe, because that kind of drives your actions and your thoughts. And I just think that was so brilliant. I absolutely enjoyed it. I count it a privilege to have been a part of it.
Yeah, I think the other thing as well is, one of the big things is, don't do it alone.
100%.
And
100%.
we want to tell you guys how you can get more involved. So first and foremost, Kevin covered a little bit about this, but this past week was First Wednesday.
Oh, so good.
It was absolutely incredible. We had coffee, we had community, we had communion.
Oh, so good. Brilliant.
I'm on keto and I even had some bread. So that's how good it was.
Oh, nice. Like, I know for me, like, even though it was cold outside, like just being around other people made it not feel as cold. I just thought that was so good, like seeing everyone again.
Yeah, 100%.
And just speaking about community and like being together, Urban Life has got this great collective called Business Collective, and it's all about like this big think tank of leaders coming together to strategize about plans and speaking hope into the future of South Africa. And I just think it's like, I love being part of a church that not only like does preaching and worship and all of that, but like heads these kind of operations. And I just think that's so good. So if you're like me and you struggle to find Business Collective, literally go into Google Business Collective Urban Life. It's there. It's brilliant. I think it's just fantabulous.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Don't even know what fantabulous is, but it's there.
And here's another way you guys can get involved. So Botshabelo Relief Fund has done, because of your generosity, we want to thank you guys. You have been absolutely amazing. The generosity coming from you has just been incredible. So this fund has raised over 620,000 rand.
That's amazing.
For over 6,500 people, and it's supported, I think, over 1,500 families. And they've given food packs, they've given educational packs, they've given hygiene packs. So
that's brilliant.
If you haven't gotten involved in that yet, we'll encourage you to. For those of you that have, thank you so much. If you want to know more about that, it's at botshabelo.co.za, and there's a link there that you can click on to donate.
Brilliant. I love the fact that even though in times of difficulty, people are still willing to be generous, and like even if you have less than what you normally have, you're still willing to share. And I just love that principle, because despite what you might think, that isn't common. Like 100%. That is something specifically attributable to Christians, and I think that's so good. And just linking to that, like what I took so much value out of was last week's Grow, and like just the theme, like seeing Jesus on every page. Like I just love like the way Urban Life pioneers these type of projects, because I think it's so difficult to read like Leviticus and be like, Jesus, where are you on this page?
Ecclesiastes.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's definitely a challenge. So I think it's so good that Urban Life is running with this thing, and it runs every Wednesday. Guys, if you don't know where to find it, head on over to urbanlife.org.za. There's a link there. Watch, and every Wednesday night. So good. Would really encourage you guys to join there. And then one more thing that I almost forgot to mention, and it's probably it's not great because I've also forgotten about it, but it's called Google Classrooms, and it's so good because you actually get Grow tasks that you can fill in. So like I would suggest that you do a song, because I mean, again, like last week, you definitely have the talent for it. So I think this week that is on the to-do list for you.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I'm talented, but not so much. But talking about pioneering, another way that Urban Life Church is pioneering is on the 19th of July. We have worship in the park. There's a video at the end of tonight, so don't go away after the next game. But we're going to tell you all about it. It's going to be incredible. It's something that you've never seen before. If you like park acoustics and all those kind of things, it's going to be that kind of vibe.
So good, so good. And maybe just linking back to Ecclesiastes, I mean, since you brought it up, I think like we've had a moment for like a time for being serious and like speaking about a serious topic, but there's also a time of fun, and that's what we're going to do after this, guys. So don't go away. Stick around, stay in your seats. Comment, share, like, whatever, all of those things. Do all of those things.
100%. All right. So can we get the panel up here? Just two of you. Reiki, let's start with Reiki and Donnie. Let's get you guys over here. Start with the clever ones. No offense. Yes. Okay. So you guys need to stand right here. So this is Reiki. No, I'm just kidding. This is Donnie, that's Reiki. All right, so I think we need to get in the shot here. I'm told that we're a bit wide. You and I should not be in the same shot. Sorry. Okay, so as Kevin said, we're going to have a game of charades. And this is a team right here. Stephen and Alicia are going to be in the other team. And basically, you guys know how charades works, right?
Yeah.
We hope so.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got to act out. So we're going to have Donnie go first. Everybody at home is going to see exactly what it is that you have to act out, okay? But the other person obviously won't know. So I'm going to tell you what you have to act out. Those at home will actually see what it is. And then, yeah, you're not allowed to say anything, okay?
Let's do this.
Good with that? All right.
I use this.
Cool.
So what must I do?
All right, let's.
Am I the guesser?
Yes,
All right.
he doesn't need a mic.
Okay. Okay, I need to look at you. Okay. Potato. Hungry man. Slop date. Baba black sheep. Sky. Sky slop. Sky ball. Ball. Big hands. Big hello. Slop. Sleep. Sleeping pool. Sleeping in the morning. A nap. A morning nap. That's my favorite. What? Okay, look, you're talking.
Can I speak Afrikaans? Will anybody notice?
Come closer, okay? Slaapbal. Slaapbal sky. Slaapbal. I'm a blind. Come on. I need easier stuff. Sleep ball. Sky. Krappekop. I toch.
I'm out.
Okay, so I think, does this help?
Moonwalk.
Yes? Come on.
Michael
Who doesn't
Jackson.
do- There we go.
Do that.
That's all it was. That's all it
You
was.
could have done this.
All right, Reiki, this one's for you. You got to stay there. You got to stay there.
Kom meneer. Jee. Okay.
No.
I don't know. This is the part where we stand here.
Look. Weightlifting.
Okay.
Gym.
Okay.
Going to gym. Bodybuilding.
Right, but
What? Building muscles.
he got it. He said lifting.
I got it, man. I got it. Come on, I got it.
We win the game.
I got it.
1 point for Reiki and Donnie. Thank you guys very much. Thank you.
Can I drop the mic?
Go ahead. If you guys can't see, the whole team at the back just panicked. All right, Stephen and Alicia. Okay, Alicia's going to go first. Let me get her clue. You guys can stand there.
Frog face.
Oh, wait.
Square, yeah, okay.
No, this is what it is.
A screen, a movie, okay. Try something
Okay, I'll
else.
give you a hint. He does magic.
Merlin.
Pointy hats and sticks.
Is he currently famous? No, I wouldn't know.
He flies on a broomstick.
He flies on a broom. Harry Potter.
I've never got that. It's a hard one. Pancakes. Flying pancakes. Flying, flipping.
You can't talk?
Flapjacks.
1-1
Why?
tiebreaker.
Why?
All right. Sorry. So you guys spoke. So effectively, you only got 1 point. Okay.
No.
So now for the next round, okay, we're gonna have both teams up here.
Can I declare a dispute?
You're going to act.
We did not
Yes.
talk.
Hmm?
We did not
I'm
talk.
sure I heard him say flipping.
No, that was
Maybe
after
that
I
was
said
out of
flipping.
frustration.
Guys,
Okay, so you gentlemen are going to act it out for the ladies, the clue that I give you. Okay?
and the one who gets it first.
Correct.
Okay.
Is the winner.
So
Okay.
who will win?
I'm going to go and get the picture for you. Hold on for 1 second.
Okay, but who will win?
The
Who will
us,
win?
we will win.
Guesses and you don't.
Yes.
Then we win.
In 3 words.
Is it the same thing? Are they guessing the same thing? Okay.
Are you guys gonna do it? Lion King.
Yes, well done, well done. Thank
I'm
you.
still
No,
declaring
I don't
a
need
dispute,
mental
though.
health.
Well done, you guys won. Well done. Well done. You. You guys won. You should be happy. No more complaining, Alicia. You guys won.
No, didn't. We won.
Thank you. Thank you. There's your red carpet. Alicia and Stephen won. Well, there is a dispute going on after this, but Alicia and Stephen definitely won.
Yeah,
That's where I see
I
it.
would probably go for them as well. I think
Yeah.
they did a really great job. I loved Steven's creativity of lifting.
I don't think
Donnie.
anybody at home saw Stephen actually, but
Oh, that's unfortunate. Guys, if you missed it, Stephen was trying to lift Donnie. But I mean, if there's someone in church that I think that could lift someone else like that, I would put my money on Steve, 100%.
yeah.
So, I mean, just one more nugget from the earlier conversation, because it's so good and it's just so difficult to wrap it all up in one sentence. But I think it's the aspect of, it's not a one size fits all. I think the fact that there's multiple facets to mental health, and I think it's good to be aware of that and to be reminded
Yeah.
of that. So
Yeah.
I just love that.
Yeah. So we've loved having you guys tonight. I made so many notes on tonight's discussion. Definitely going to be rewatching this.
Yeah,
But we've loved having you guys here. Don't go away. We're going to play you a video of what worship in the park is going to look like. But other than that, have a great evening. Have a great Sunday, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for joining in, guys. You've been awesome. Really appreciate it, and enjoy the video.
Cheers.
Um.